Hicks, Jada Vernon, and Christina Daly. And we're going to do some cooking today, and we're going to give away a cool little gift. If you are back with us, go ahead and drop a quick comment and say what's up. Let us know that you're alive and that you're doing well. And we're going to get moving into this right now. Let me see. So, Adam, where did you find your love for cooking, man?
Been cooking for quite a while. When I was a kid, I used to watch the food. Before Food Network was really a big thing, but I used to watch a lot of the cooking shows, like the Frugal Gourmet, the Two Fat Ladies, the British ladies that cook together. And I watched a lot of cooking shows growing up. I'd even write my own recipes. Granted, most of them involved Doritos, but but then I didn't actually cook for a long time, especially college and stuff. But then I got married, and Cass got pregnant, and then she's like, "Oh, I can't keep, doing the cooking because, all this." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I actually like to cook. I just thought you wanted to. Like, I'll cook."
Right.
And then haven't stopped since. And yeah, so I just have been cooking. So probably going on 11 years I've been doing it.
Wow. All right.
Pretty much full time around here. So
what was like the first thing you learned how to cook? Do you remember?
I mean, like kind of the basics, it's like, I think that you start with the basics. Like, for example, you learn how to make a really good scrambled egg.
Yeah.
You start with some real basic things, and then you kind of work your way up from there. And so I'm following a lot of instructions, following a lot of recipes, and I'd follow them like to the letter, and now I've gotten to the point where I'll mess with them and tweak them, and
Ooh, that's how you know you're getting real, is when you're able to tweak stuff by yourself. Like, this is your thing. What about you, Christina? Where did you find your love for cooking?
I think two places. One is my mom. Like, she is the most amazing cook that I have seen. Just the way that she can get so much together, like for a huge group, or I mean, she was definitely the primary cook in my family when I was little. But also, then she would have me and my sister in the kitchen, and we would be her little apprentices, doing all the dishes and doing all the cutting and chopping and stirring. And so I don't know. I loved the way that she would take recipes and make them her own. So she would take, we were vegetarian. She would take a meat recipe and make it a vegetarian recipe. And it was like the best, better than any of the ones in the vegetarian cookbooks that we could find. So I loved that. And then what I also loved about her is that if anybody needed anything, she would make something for them. That was her
Wow.
way of giving. And so I love being able to do that. And then the other thing is I really love, like, I'm a super foodie, and I love to go to restaurants and try to
Yeah.
imagine what's in the dish and then try to make it at home. So that's kind of one of my favorite things to do as
Dude,
well.
that's a real thing. Like, you sit down, you let your palate touch all these different flavors, and then you go home and you make it. That's
Yes, exactly.
that's
Exactly. And
big.
try to get as close as you can. So,
Wow. All
yeah.
right. That also shows that you're serious. These are things that people do when they're serious cooks. They don't need the instructions. They can go places,
Oh,
taste it, and
man.
be like, "I'm gonna put this together at home." That's like pro level stuff. Jada.
I do use recipes, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I
okay.
definitely, I like combine the different ones to try and get it to be exactly like the restaurant. So yeah,
Got it.
that's about as much creativity as
Well, yeah, you still get credit for it. Jada, tell us where did you find your love for cooking? When did this happen? Was it at birth, or did you just one day find out that you could cook ramen really well and then you went from there? Wait, Jada, we can't hear you, Jada. This is my day for all things to go cray cray. Let's see if we can get Jada's sound back on. Jada. Jada, are you muted on your end? Can you unmute from that side? Let me see. Ooh, we're having a tough time, Jada. Jada, tell you what, why don't you give me a call right back, yeah? And we'll talk. Here we go. Boom. All right. While Jada is trying to get back to us, this is definitely one of those days. You know what I was gonna do? I was actually gonna go and set up the kitchen here in the conference office so that I can cook with you guys. I'm glad I didn't do that because with all of this stuff happening, I may have burned the whole place down. Jada, are you there with us?
Can you hear me?
Got you, girl.
Yay!
Tell us about your love for food. How did you get to cooking? When did this happen for you?
Sure. So I think it mostly started when I was like in elementary or middle school. I think my mom, she a latchkey kid, so I always got home before my mom. So I'd always be hungry, and there was no one there. So I'd have to try to throw things together. Also, my mom was a vegan, so I didn't want anything she had in the house. So
shout out to
I
the
was
vegans.
just like, yeah, shout out to vegans. I love vegan food now. But as a kid, I was like meat and cheese and all that good stuff.
Right.
But so I would just go in the fridge and see the stuff that she bought for me, like chicken or whatever, and I'll kind of just start putting stuff, on the fire and see what I can get. Right. And I got kind of blossomed into a more love of food, and so eventually just a passion of cooking and baking.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Hey, quick question. How many of you, by show of hands, is vegetarian? Do we have any vegetarians in the house? Vegetarian, got one vegetarian. How many of you are vegan? Any vegans in the house? Okay, cool. Just wondering. So the other two, you two are heretics then, lost as they would put it.
Yeah, I prefer heathen.
Heathen, yes. That's the term I was looking for. Correct. Yeah, heathen.
Heathen. Straight up.
Heathen's kitchen. So, Jada, what is your favorite thing to make? If you just get in that kitchen and you could just go, what is your favorite thing?
My favorite thing to make, something I find myself making often, not only is this recipe I'm going to do, but it's also I make cupcakes very often.
Ooh,
so that's something I can always make. Yeah.
Ooh, girl, cupcakes. Ooh, I love cupcakes. Man, you hit my... What's your favorite cupcake? Yeah, my mad sweet tooth. It gets me every time.
My favorite cupcake is a white chocolate strawberry cupcake.
Hello. Ooh. Oh, man, that sounds serious. Okay.
Yeah, it's a strawberry cupcake and then white chocolate frosting.
Wow. Woo, let's get this show started. Adam, what about you? What's your favorite thing to cook, man?
I've got quite a few things I like doing. My family all has their favorite things that I make. But right now, there's two things I like doing. I love Thanksgiving, and so the whole Thanksgiving spread, that's kind of like the Super Bowl for me. That's my yearly time to really let loose. And then I also really like cooking brunch.
Ooh.
Experimenting with different things there, whether it's sour cream pancakes or French toast casserole, or it's all sorts of Benedicts. I just did French potatoes recently, and I've just totally changed the way I do breakfast potatoes now. So I found a new thing I'm really excited about. So,
man, I can't wait till post-COVID. I'm coming to your house. I love brunch. Love brunch. Oh man, brunch all day, every day, any meal of the day. Christina, what about you? Tell me, what is if you can get up in that kitchen and just make whatever you want with all the time you have and tons of money, what would you just love to make?
Pretty much anything Asian. I didn't grow up eating a lot of Asian food, so when I did and have it in a restaurant, I was like, oh my gosh, this is bursting with flavor. So now I love to cook it, and I like to make sushi. I like to make stir fries. I like to make noodles. I'm always experimenting, trying to get it perfect, So yeah, that's probably the thing I love most.
Now, how does a vegetarian make sushi?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Lots of avocado, lots of, actually one of my favorite things is sweet potato. That's the bomb in sushi. I've been to some sushi restaurants which will use other things like mangoes and other things and plantains and endless.
Wow, man.
Are we talking tempura sweet potato or
both? I'll actually sometimes I'll just use sweet potato fries in my sushi. Literally, it will work very well.
Guys, this is a conversation we could have all day long, baby. Oh man, we're talking. Oh, I hope that if you're watching along, you're getting hungry, because that's the whole point of today here. I am hanging out with Adam Hicks. I'm hanging out with my girl Jada Vernon and Christina Daly, and we're about to throw down and do some cooking in their kitchen. We're just talking about a few things, and then at the end, we're going to give away a couple really, really cool cookbooks for those of you who might want to figure out some really cool cooking stuff, all right? But before that, I just wanted to ask a few questions and get to know each other and talk some about life and love. What is your favorite Bible story, your favorite biblical narrative that has to do with food. That has to do with food. Christina, you start with us since you ended us off.
It's funny because I actually thought about it just now as you were saying it, but I love the story of Joseph. And the funny thing is, you don't normally think of food when you think of that story,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
true.
like when he had his brothers back, and then he like set them before a meal to kind of like test them out and see. It's funny because a lot of things happen over food, so I feel like he knew that, and he decided like I'm gonna spread out a spread before them and see what happens. So
Oh,
yeah, I
nice.
think I don't know. That's my favorite Bible story, and I guess it includes food too. So.
That's weird. I never even considered that meal. That's interesting. Very good. What about you, Jada?
My favorite, when I was a kid and I first heard the story of God making it rain manna and quail, I thought that was the best miracle I ever heard in my life. I was
Me
like,
too. Me
if God could
too.
just make it rain food whenever I would be in need, that would just make my whole entire life. So that was like always my favorite Bible story as a kid. I was like, every time I just go outside, like, God, I'm hungry, just look up, as a kid, I just like,
And that was like God's angry response. He was like, "I'm so mad at y'all.
yeah,
I'm gonna feed you until you can't handle it anymore." I was like, "Oh, praise the Lord!
right.
I wish the
That's
Lord
like,
would do that
that's
to me."
it's a good punishment.
Yeah,
That's one of those good
that's one of those
punishments.
good punishments. Hit me with that, God. Adam, what about yours, man? What narratives do you
Um,
like from the Bible?
all right, it's a toss-up between Peter's vision on the rooftop, because I like seeing my good Adventist
Interesting.
brethren flip out over that and keep saying, it's about people, it's about people, it's not about food. Um, I actually like the story of, actually, really, seriously, the story of Zacchaeus and Jesus coming and eating with Zacchaeus.
Wow.
And because Jesus has a meal with Zacchaeus, it changes his entire life and changes the trajectory of everything. Um,
That's interesting. You all had technically picked stories that weren't really about the content of the food, but the meaning of the food. That's great. Yeah, thinking. What do you think are some real theological implications that has to deal with food? Why do you think food is such a big topic in the Bible? What do you think about that? What do you think God is trying to communicate to us human beings? Adam? I'll start with Adam
well,
because he's a pastor. He should have a good answer for us.
right. I should just have an answer right on board
Yes,
for that.
right, man.
But I do. If you ask any cook, because people are like, "Oh man, thank you so much for cooking all this for us. Oh, you put so much work into this. Oh, thank you." And I'm like, look, I just like making good things for the people I love. And so for a lot of us, food is an outpouring and display of our love.
Yeah.
And so there's something really sacred about meal times. And there's something, and if you think about with the disciples and Jesus, some of their most memorable moments are actually surrounding food, around food. And I
Yeah.
think that that's a very human thing, that we find connection and community and, something beautiful. And a lot of our memories actually are food related, if you think about it. Some of our best memories are tied around the food that we're eating. And so I think that there's something, it's not just eat to live, but live to eat. I think there actually is something to that, because there's something that happens when we come together and we eat together and we produce something together. And it's really beautiful.
What about you, ladies? Have you given that some thought? Some things that you've kind of grinded on when you talk about food in the Bible or cooking in the Bible, Jada?
I think so. I think like to me, good food is like good for the soul. And it's
Yeah.
like it's good to like make food and like come together as even just like friends or families or even strangers, just to have like that commonality. Like we're here for the food to communicate and just have like a good time with each other.
Yeah, true. There's something really special and divine about that moment. As Adam says, that's
Mhm.
probably why they were always around food, right? Christina, what's your thoughts on that, my girl?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it kind of just goes back to hospitality, and definitely Adam said some of this, but when you create a space for people to enjoy one another's company, that can include food, and most of the time it does include food. Automatically we know when it's like you add food to the mix, people become like more comfortable. And it gives you kind of something to do, so that
Yeah,
everybody's
true.
not on edge. And so I definitely feel like it's one of the gifts God has given us to help us just become a community, like, as a church to become a community. So I love that part about it and the hospitality part about it.
That's probably one of the most difficult times about this season, isn't it? Not being able to gather around like you normally would, people you love, and eat and chill and talk and be more inviting in that space. It's tough to handle during the Christmas time, or actually any time, really. So, man,
For
that's
sure.
yeah. Thank you guys. Okay, one more question, and then let's get into some cooking here. And I want to post this out to our people who are rolling with us. Sonia, what's up, my girl? Donald Sheldon, that's my guy right there. And of course, Sarah puts out food philosophers. I like that. We should call this new segment "Food Philosophers." What is your favorite food to eat? Like, what's your favorite thing? If you could shove it in your mouth, what would it be? And I want to ask our viewers too. You guys go ahead and respond to us. Throw down in here what you like. I saw Italian food earlier, but is there something that you love? It's just your thing. It's just your thing. Adam, what's your favorite food? Favoritist ever?
Man, that's a tough one. It depends on what season I think I'm in, man. Because it mixes up, it varies up a lot. If we're talking kosher, non-kosher, like, but what I would say is maybe something that ties me back. Actually, you know what? Nachos are probably one of my favorite things on the planet. Like just
nice.
some really solid, and I don't care if they're movie theater nachos. I don't care if they're gourmet nachos. I love nachos. I even made breakfast nachos once. Like, I really, for some reason, there's something about that hodgepodge, like, cultural mix up and all sorts of ingredients that come together in a nachos that I really particularly like, and it's tied with childhood memories too. But
That's real close to that haystack, Adam. Real close to that haystack.
Oh no, haystack. Honestly, haystacks are one of the best things about being Adventist.
All day, every day, baby. Those haystacks are so good.
God's gift to the world. I love haystacks so much.
No joke. That was a Garden of Eden food, man. I'm telling you, there was haystacks there. I'm telling you, Adam and Eve was eating on that stuff. Oh man. Okay, very good. So, just want to throw up here. Margarita says beef tongue tacos. Beef tongue tacos. I'm gonna trust you, girl. I'm gonna trust you that's good. I'm not gonna go for it myself, but
dude, it's like pot roast. It's real good, man. You should try it.
Is that right?
Good. Oh yeah, man. It's solid.
Hey, good on you. More power to you. Sonia says lasagna in the house. Okay. There's lasagna lovers. Tacos is another one of those things that you can eat at any time. It's just good food. It's heavenly food. Sidekicks, breakfast nachos. Ooh, breakfast nachos.
Okay, no, I do make a wicked chilaquiles, but no, I actually made breakfast nachos. Like it's a whole different thing. But yes, I do make chilaquiles on a regular basis.
Love chilaquiles, man. All right. Okay, Jada, what about you, Jada? What do you love to just throw down on?
At any moment of the day, I can always have a taco. If it's breakfast, if it's lunch, if it's dinner, I can always have a taco, man. I don't care what's in it, whether it's just like beef and cheese, or if it's like even a vegetarian taco or a vegan taco. Tacos will always be like my main go-to. Crunchy, soft, it don't matter.
I concur. Oh man. Shout out to those of you who love tacos, man. Tacos is and find you a good place to have tacos. If you find a place like
Leo's Taco Truck,
Leo's Taco Shop, man. Tersa's out in LA. Shout out to my girl Tersa. She rocks the house. So good, good. Christina, tell us about your food choices.
It would definitely have to be topping everything else would have to be cornbread, which sounds like super simple, but like when I was little, my mom used to be like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I'd be like, "Cornbread." And it's like, that is the food that just, I don't know, there's just something so homey about it, and the salty and the sweet, and I love it. And I love tasting all of my different relatives' cornbread, and yeah, delicious.
Hey, yes. Well, these are all great, man. And Sonia coming back with them haystacks are like nachos instead of tortilla corn chips. You got to use those Frito chips. You want to get?
Yeah, it is not a haystack without Fritos. I will take that hot take to my grave. It is not a haystack without Fritos.
It's
Go, Jada. No, this
It's
is what
in
we
this
came
moment.
to.
I'm
We
sorry.
came to
It's just,
debate this. Let's go.
no, it's just in this moment that I realized that haystacks are such a like integral part of like Adventist food. Like I've never not been to a church and we didn't have haystacks. Like
Yeah. That's because that's like when you look around on Friday and you're like,
in the
dang,
eye.
we didn't have potluck ready. Somebody like, we got some chips. Okay, let's just throw that haystack together. It's real easy, you know, and it's cheap and you can get a
Right.
lot in. Ooh wee. Okay, everybody. Well, we're gonna get into the kitchens right now. Let's get to some cooking and let's throw down and see what we can make for today. Adam, before we get started, what are you gonna make for us today?
I'm going to be making one of my family's favorite things that I do during the holidays, especially for Thanksgiving, is the hibiscus cranberry. So it's a flavor, borrowing some from the flavors of Jamaica, the agua fresca. And so I'm going to be using some, a shortcut, really. I'm going to be using some hibiscus tea. And I'm actually using a little bit of cinnamon. Sometimes people put some star anise up in there, but I'm just going to do it with a cinnamon stick because I like that nice, warm holiday vibe going on. Some sugar, gonna throw in some cranberries, and it just all it's super simple. Like this is like I don't know why people do cranberries because this is like the simplest thing you can make, and it's so good. And I'll show you guys today.
What is it gonna go on? What does it go on if you put it on?
Everything. No, but like real like if you're eating Thanksgiving, you put your turkey. Like I love Thanksgiving, but I also love Thanksgiving leftovers, and so I do a bunch of leftover sandwiches. And one of my favorites is actually turkey, cranberry, cream cheese. Maybe a little bit of blue cheese and some hot sauce, and you put all that together. I know it doesn't feel like it might go together, but trust, it goes, and it's really good.
Boom. Okay, and Jada, what are you gonna make for us again?
So I am making white chocolate banana pudding. Very easy recipe. You can have it for the holidays, for your birthday, for Tuesday, whatever. Whatever.
Oh, good. Hey, Christina, what are you making for us?
Chipotle pecan pesto. So it's like an appetizer, a dip. I love it. Sometimes I make it obviously as an appetizer for entertaining, but I also just like to make it for me and just spread it on toast because it's so good.
I ain't mad at that. Can you actually put that as well on pasta if you wanted to?
Yeah, actually, you can put on pasta. I've done that. Most of the time, I'll just dip things into it, like vegetables, carrots. I'll do bread, anything really. But you can put it on pasta, yeah.
Sweet. Well, let's get on up into these kitchens. Everybody, if you're watching along, we're going to jump into Adam's kitchen first, and he's going to work us through his piece here. He's going to talk us through it. We'll keep talking as we do that. Adam, are you ready to give us some cooking? By the way, if you're watching along, this is a time for you to pull out your pencil and paper so you can write down how to make these things, all right?
All right. Yeah. So forgive the big red pot there. I'm doing some Hawaiian fried chicken later, and so I've got my oil ready to go for that. And so remember, guys, don't fill your containers with oil more than halfway up. That's a real bad idea. Don't deep fry if you're not comfortable with it. All right, so what I got going on here is I've got a pot and I've got a cup of water in here. And I'm throwing in a cup of sugar. You want to kind of whisk that in a little bit, get it a little bit dissolved up in there. But don't worry, the heat's going to do a lot of that work for you. I'm going to be throwing in a cinnamon stick. And then I'm going to be throwing in 4 hibiscus tea bags. Now, this is the brand that I typically use is Tarin. This is the brand of tea that I typically use. You can get it at Cardenas or Northgate or any of those markets. I'm going to throw them on into the pot. I'm going to turn on the heat. And so what I'm going to do now is this is going to go to a simmer. Once I get to a simmer, I'm actually going to turn the heat off for about 3 minutes because I want those tea bags to steep. Now, with black teas, you have to worry about it getting tanniny and really bitter. So, like, most people, like, if you leave your black tea bags in your tea too long, you're doing it wrong because that's why it gets all weird and bitter. If you're using herbal teas or, like, for example, this with a Jamaica tea, you don't have to worry about it getting all bitter. So, technically speaking, you can leave the bags in there as long as you want. But you really want to get it up to a simmer. You want to turn it off, let it steep for 3 minutes. And then I'm going to be throwing my cranberries on in, and then we're going to see some magic happen. So right now, we're just waiting for it to get to a simmer, and I'm going to turn it off and let it sit.
And then it's pretty much ready to go? Or is it then the next steps?
Then the next step, because then we put in the cranberries, and the cranberries are going to take about 15 minutes or so. Because what you're looking for is you want the cranberries to pop, because the cranberries actually have a thickening agent inside of them, like naturally. And so they'll thicken the cranberry sauce just by themselves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like trust. Like, a lot of people like that gelatinized canned cranberry stuff, and I just don't understand it, because fresh cranberries taste so much better. In fact, people who don't like cranberries, it might be because you've had a bunch of the canned cranberries and you haven't had fresh ones yet. So you should give this a try if you're not a cranberry fan, and then you can see.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see what's cooking up in Christina's kitchen. Christina.
Okay, so you want me to start, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had this first in a restaurant actually in Austin, and I found the recipe online as I told you I do. But when I tasted it, it was just so delicious. But it's so super simple as well. And it was a vegan restaurant, so they made it vegan, so you can make it vegan. And I'll tell you along the way as I go how to do that. So first, we're going to take some herbs. It's a cup of cilantro and then half a cup of basil, and you just dump those into your food processor. Honestly, I think the longest part of making this is separating all the cilantro from the stems, but I've heard you don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. Then you take half a cup of pecans, throw that in there, and then half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. And you want to make sure to get the sun-dried tomatoes that are in the oil, packed in the oil, because you need some of the oil. And you take 2 tablespoons of the oil out with the sun-dried tomatoes and use a little bit of that oil. So this is 2 tablespoons of oil plus half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes, and you just dump that in too. And then here's where like a lot of the flavor comes from. These are chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. And you want to make sure you don't put too many in there if you're not a spicy person. If you are, then just dump the whole can in, I guess. But I usually, because I'm not a spicy person at all, and I just like the flavor of the adobo sauce, I'll only put like 2 of the peppers, and then I'll like put just a little bit of the adobo sauce in there, and then call it a day. So that goes in there, and then we want a little bit of sweet to counteract the tomatoes. So we've got a tablespoon of honey in there, and I hope all this honey will come out. There we go. Okay, so then about a half a teaspoon of salt goes in there, along with some Parmesan cheese. And really, I eyeball the Parmesan cheese as much as to how much I want, but I think the recipe calls for like 3/4 of a cup. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put in all that I have, I think. Yeah. And then you also want to have some olive oil. And this is really like up to you kind of decision. If you want to make it like lower in fat or just less oil, you can add more water than oil, but you're always going to need to add some water. So what I usually do is I'll start with maybe 1/3 of a cup or so, and put that in there, and then I will add about half a cup of water.
Dang, that looks good. And you got this like, what is that? Is that because it's clear. That's not a bowl. What is that?
Oh, this is a food processor.
Oh, food processor.
Yeah, so that's the best way to make this. You definitely don't, I mean, to make it smooth, you definitely need either a food processor or some kind of, you can also make it in a blender. That's a great way to do it as well. By the way, I said I'd show you how to make it vegan. Instead of the Parmesan cheese, you can use nutritional yeast, but definitely do not use 3/4 of a cup of nutritional yeast. That would not be good. Just a couple of tablespoons to kind of get the taste in there. And then the rest of it will fill itself out. Even if you made this without cheese, it would still taste really good. So then all I need to do is
before you do that, can we take a look at it? It's so
Yeah.
pretty. Can you lift it up a little bit to the camera? Can you bring it to the camera a little bit for us to see? Look at the colors in that, everybody. Talk about Christmas, huh? Wow. Looks good.
So it's going to be a nice bright wet red when we blend it all together. Yeah. So it's going to be loud, so hopefully that doesn't...
Okay, we're gonna mute you for a second while you do that. And let's pop over to Jada and see what Jada's doing here. Jada, are you ready?
What's up? I'm ready.
Are you ready? All right. Take us through it, girl.
Okay, so for this recipe, you're going to need 2 large mixing bowls, an electric mixer. If you have one, if not, you can also just use like a hand whisk as well. And you're gonna need like a little spatula slash like mixing spoon. First thing you want to do is you want to pour your instant pudding into your bowl. Pour both of them in here and mix them, and then you want to add 2 cups for one, so basically about 4 cups of cold milk. So we have 2 cups right there. And then we're going to add 2 more cups. And then basically you just want to kind of like mix until it starts to thicken, since it is instant pudding, so it's going to like go pretty quickly. So just like keep mixing for about 2 to 3 minutes or so.
Uh-huh.
So you just mix. You just basically do mixing at this point. All right. So simple. So you mix. Then also, if you like don't want to just kind of sit here and mixing, you can put it to the side. It will thicken, so just like keep an eye on it and keep mixing so you don't have like hard clumps, basically. So you're just gonna let that vibe to the side for a little bit, and then in your next bowl, what you want to put is your cream cheese. So you want to mix that in there.
Put a lot of that in there.
Cream cheese. Is that what's like delicious? The cream cheese?
Put a lot of that and put a lot of condensed milk in there, and just it doesn't matter what else you put in there.
Okay. I got you. I 100% got you. So cream cheese, and then you're gonna mix in your sweet condensed milk.
Ah, yeah, put a lot of that too.
I think you'd have just been satisfied if I was just cooking sweet condensed milk.
Yeah, yep. That would have done the trick for me. Put on some rice. We're good.
On some rice?
Yeah. Hey, don't knock it till you tried it.
I'm gonna knock it.
No, listen. Get a hot bowl of rice, pour some condensed milk and some butter. Trust me, it'll change your life. You'll get diabetes, but you will thank me for it though.
There's a lot happening in that recipe, y'all.
Yeah, there's.
Okay. So you want to mix this with the electric mixer, since your cream cheese is a little bit hard.
All
so
right.
I'm gonna have to turn on. So you might have to mute me for now.
Right, I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna go back to Adam and see how he's doing.
Go ahead.
This is like it's like a show. It's like Devil's Kitchen, except it's Heaven's Kitchen. Adam, I'm coming back to you, man. Adam, take yourself off mute. We want to hear how it's going in your kitchen. Dun 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 dun. There you are. Hi, Adam.
There we go. Okay. I didn't mute myself. All right. All right. So I let the tea steep. To answer the question, if you want to use for the just the Jamaica leaves or the hibiscus leaves instead of the tea, I would say 1 or 2 handfuls should be, or even 1 handful should be fine, depending on volume. I usually like double and triple the recipe when I make it. So, but yeah, if you like a handful, or I would say use the dried leaves, obviously, but then you'd also want to make sure to like put them in like some cheesecloth or something to make sure, because you want to be able to get them out. So you want to strain it. Part of the reason why the tea works so nicely is that way you don't actually have to strain it. It's all a nice self-contained thing, and you can just take the bags out and you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, if you use just the loose leaves, then just strain it. That's all. Okay. So now I've got the cranberries in there, and the cranberries are doing their thing. Now, the cool thing about the cranberries is it feels like nothing's happening, but then you start to hear them like very lightly pop. Yep. As they heat up and whatnot. And so as you go along, you know it's pretty much done when most of the cranberries have popped. And then you can let it simmer a little bit more. Depending on how much cinnamon flavor you
like
want.
Popcorn, you like once it stops popping, you know it's good, or? Yeah,
pretty much. Once it's done popping, it's pretty much done. I might let it go a little bit longer for flavors to kind of meld together a little more. With the cinnamon stick, depending on how much cinnamon vibe you want in the dish, some people will discard it right after it steeps because they just want a little bit of cinnamon. I'm like going full cinnamon today, so I left the stick in, and I'm gonna leave the stick in until it's done, and then I'm gonna take the stick out. But then, yeah, because I'm feeling like I want a lot more of that holiday, because cinnamon and holidays seem to be like a good combo. So right now we're just watching the pot and letting the cranberries pop.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. We're going to keep you off of mute so you can stay on audibly, and we're going to jump over to Christina and see how Christina's doing in the mix. Christina, how you doing, Christina? Oh, you're still on mute. You're still on mute. Hold on. Okay, there you go. There you go.
Okay. I was saying I'm glad you did pop back over to me because I actually forgot to add the garlic. So what I just did is I used a garlic press and just pressed the garlic cloves, 2 cloves, you just press it in, and then I just continue to blend it some more. And so I have my finished pesto here, and what I'm going to do is spoon it into a bowl. But actually before that, I'll show you kind of what I do for bread. I'm sure people out there are like wonderful bakers, but I am not. So I like to cook, but not to bake. So what I usually do is I buy these little ciabatta rolls, and then they're like the perfect bread for this because it's very light and very not too. I don't want to say meaty. That's a bad word for bread, but they're very light. So what I usually do is I'll cut it in half, and then I'll cut it into these like little sticks, just kind of slicing it all the way down.
Yum.
And then
you know
what
what
I'll
would be good
do
on that
is
too?
just brush
Condensed
it.
milk, Christina. Condensed milk on that ciabatta
Oh no,
bread.
I'm gonna become a hater too. No. But then what you do is just brush these with a little bit of butter. So I usually just take a pastry brush and brush them with a little bit of butter. Put them on a cookie sheet. Put them in the oven for like 5 minutes, and then they get just until they get just a little bit crispy. So that is what I will go ahead and do right now.
Right,
But
all right.
they'll turn into basically, obviously, this. And what I'm going to do is just spoon the chipotle pesto into this bowl and then place the breadsticks around it. And then I've got my little appetizer here.
Ooh, that looks good. That looks good. Oh, man. It's almost got a bruschetta feel. Oh, yeah, Jillian. Jillian's mentioning exactly what I was thinking. Almost like a bruschetta, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
Except without the fresh tomatoes.
It's like, yeah, it's more like a warm thing. What I will do is usually right before I serve it is put it in the microwave for just a couple seconds, and it actually turns a little bit redder when you warm it up. So I really like that for like the holiday color, but also because just this warmness with the warm breadstick is just so amazing.
Yum! People, welcome to Tuesday Tea Time, where we want to make you drool all day long. I am with Christina right now. Christina Daly is showing us how to make this. What's the dish called? It's a chipotle.
This is chipotle pecan pesto dip.
Chipotle pecan
pesto
dip.
Yes, it's pesto dip. Yes.
Never mind what it's called, people. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's going to make you want to eat. And we're hanging out with Adam Hicks, Pastor Adam Hicks, and we're hanging out with Sister Vernon, who's making some pudding right now. Let's check in on her while Christina's finishing this up right here. All right. Tell us about it, Jada. Tell us about it. Oh, let me get you off mute real quick.
There we go.
There you are.
Okay, so after you mix your cream cheese and sweet condensed milk mixture, you want to add just like, this is optional. I like to add it. You can add just like a little bit of vanilla, just to like give it a little bit extra flavor.
Yes.
And then after that, you're gonna want to take your whipped cream and you actually want to fold it in, not mix it in, because you don't want to lose like the fluffiness of the whipped cream.
Got it. When you mean fold it in, what do you mean? Obviously, I know nothing about cooking.
So, so when you fold something in, basically what you do is like you come with your spatula, you come from up and over, and then you kind of just like go through the middle. So you don't like, stir it or mix it or do it like really kind of harshly. You want to do it really gently just because you don't want to lose like the fluffiness of the whipped cream.
Did you put the condensed milk in it already? Maybe you should add some.
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Yes, I have.
All right. Woo. Now, how far along are we? How close are you to being done?
After you mix in the whipped cream, you just add this to your pudding, and that's basically it. Then you just start to layer.
Sweet. Okay. I'm going to go back around one more time, and then we are going to close out together, all of us. And if you're watching along, I am hanging out with some culinary creatives who are foodies who love to make stuff. So at the end here, we're going to give away a couple books for you. So if you're watching along, Stay with us. Stay with us. Okay, let's go back to Adam. Adam.
Hey,
Adam. How are you, Adam?
doing good.
How's that looking? Can you show
It's
us?
looking pretty good here. And so I don't know if you can see, but it's already starting to thicken up some because the cranberries are already starting to pop. And so it almost, like that and the sugar kind of gives it a real syrupy, almost a syrupy vibe. But then you can actually take this and put it into a mold and chill it, and it can almost kind of keep the shape some just by itself. You can throw a little bit of gelatin in there if you want to, like melt some gelatin and then throw it in there if you want to get that sort of jellied vibe going on.
Yeah.
Because some people really like that. I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, it's thickening up beautifully, and it smells incredible. The cinnamon vibe is it's really, really nice right now.
Wow, I'm loving this. So good, so good. Okay, I'm going to check on Christina, and then this will be our last round around. Just check on you all. Christina, how are we doing?
So this is kind of how I usually serve it. I'll put it in like a bowl, and then I'll place the sticks around it, and then people can come by and get sticks and spoon some onto their plate and eat it that way. So, yeah. Tonight, I'm probably going to try to find something healthy that I can make, like some broccoli, so I can enjoy as much of this as I want. Yeah, and this is just what we're going to eat for dinner, I think.
How many servings can you make out of that?
I mean, it depends on how much people want. Like, I eat it as a meal, so this will probably feed, like, I don't know, 3 people for that. But, like, probably, I don't know, this could probably feed, like, at least 12 people if you were, you know, if everybody's just dipping some on their plate and eating it as an appetizer and getting other things, too.
Yeah. Ooh, good, good, good.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. So we're going to show that here at the end with us 4 together, okay? So hold on to that. I'm going to check in on Jada. Jada, how are you?
Good. So I have combined the 2 mixtures, and I use the whisk to mix it all together. So it's perfectly mixed over here. Now you just want to just start layering your pan with cookies and bananas. Now the pan that's like 9 by 13.
Yep.
However, I usually do small pans just because I know that if I had a huge pan, I would eat it all myself. So I divide it up into small pans and give them away to people.
I would too. What kind of cookies do you use?
So I use chestnut cookies, like these little ones for Pepperidge Farms.
Yeah.
Usually I know people use like flavors, but
Jada, can you hear me okay?
yes.
Do you actually have to cook that dish, or is that one that goes into like the fridge?
You just put it in the fridge and you're fine.
Sweet. All right, keep working on it. We're going to jump in with Adam and see how Adam's going.
Just removing the cinnamon stick right here because I think it's done its work. Tastes pretty good.
Does it? Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You guys are awesome. I want to thank you guys for coming on and showing us how to cook. If you are looking for the ingredients and the purpose stuff, hey, would you 3 do me a favor? Would you just drop your ingredients in the description for people as they come on and they comment and they watch later on? They'll be able to see it and pull it out for themselves. Adam, that's looking fantastic. Jada, how much more time do you think it'll take you before that project is completed?
Less than 2 minutes.
Oh, sweet. And Adam, how long does yours take?
Right now where it's at, most of them are already popped. So I mean, like I could serve it anywhere between now and 5-10 minutes from now.
Sweet.
Just letting it do its thing, and it's getting real thick now. It's
wow,
looking real good.
That looks quite thick. Fantastic. Yo, that was good. Ooh, Jada, lift that up again one more time, please, Jada. Let us see that. I want to see that in all its glory.
I don't know what it's for, but amazing.
Yes, I can see. That looks great. Looks great. Okay, so here at the end, I know I want to be able to see all the finished products. We got to be able to get Christina's. Jada's should be finished out by the time we get done. And look at Adam's. Wow, man. Dang. And Adam's, that looks fantastic. We're gonna do a giveaway. I've got a couple books. These were suggestions from our panelists today, and so I want to. Isaac says Icky is secretly mad you guys aren't doing this live in front of him. This is very true, very true, Isaac. You're very right. Could you have used potatoes smasher to help with the berries along, Adam?
I sometimes use the back of the spoon. And yeah, sometimes if I have like one that's being particularly stubborn, I'll do that. So yeah, you could mash it with a masher, but honestly, the heat of the stove, like the simmering, just does the job itself for the most part. Most of them just pop on their own.
Nice. All right, my friends, this is what we're gonna do. We've reached the end of our time. But you know what? We went extra because of the big crash that happened at the beginning of our time together. So we're going over a little extra just for you. They're going to post the description in the description, the ingredients and the prep for you, so that if you want to try this in your home, you can get it done. I also want to give away two good books that Adam and I forget, was it Jada? Were you the one who suggested the other book, or was it Christina?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so Jada suggested a book called what's the book title again?
So the book title is "You Suck at Cooking."
You suck at cooking. So I immediately had to buy
It's a real
that
book, I swear.
No, I bought it. Shay, when he said it, I went out and got it. I probably should have gotten a copy for myself. And then Adam, you suggested another book called Good Foods.
It's called This Good Food, and I kind of went a little, I guess, on the bougier side of it. It's a monk, a French monk, who wrote the cookbook, and it's actually organized by seasons. And so you have, spring, summer, autumn, winter, and then you have different recipes in each of those seasons. And for the most part, vegetarian, but they're Catholic vegetarian, so there's a little bit of fish in there. But for the most, it's like 90% vegetarian though. And I cook a lot of things from that. Some of the dishes my family really likes, I make from that one.
Nice. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Since we got these two books out, I want to give it out to those of you who are with us still on the scope. So if you are wanting this book, I need you to drop into the comments so that we know you're still with us. I saw Isaac just popped on, Sarah, and I think Sonia just popped up just a couple minutes ago, dropping in there, looking good, everybody. So if you would like a copy of this book or a chance to win this book, go ahead and drop into our comments. Tell us what is your favorite food, all right? I know we did that earlier, but it's a good chance to just drop it back in here. And when we round out this moment, I'm going to have Christina pick one of those who dropped those comments out. Whichever one Christina liked the best is the one we're going to do for one. And then I'm going to let Jada pick out the other one, all right? So, Jill, there we go.
I just want to make sure I'm on the right link. I know I had the other one before. Is it the same one?
Yes, it is. Yes,
okay.
It is. Look at that, Adam. That is gorgeous. Margarita, all Mexican food. Yeah. Sonia, name the names again. Okay, so one book is called You Suck at Cooking. If that is that, I may have paraphrased that. And the other book is called Good Foods, Adam?
This Good Food.
This Good Food, yes. Sarah, Thai food and Indian food. Girl, you and me both, man. Icky, you are the best host. Don't try to butter people up, Isaac. It's not going to work. You're the best host. Best ever. Oh, I mean Christina. Christina, you are the best ever. Nice.
No. Oh my gosh. They're trying to butter me up.
Yeah, they're trying to get you. Sonia says, I'll take one. You know what, Sonia? You live close enough to me. If you drive over, I might just get you one. This good food. Okay, here we go. Now, I want to see. We're going to wait for Jada. Jada, how's your dish looking?
I'm done.
Beautiful. Can we take a look at it?
Sure.
Adam's is basically done as well, huh, Adam?
Yeah, it's done.
Adam, do you have something you can pour that over? We should watch that in slow-mo. Oh. Oh, man.
Let's see if I can get a good...
Ooh, yeah. Hello. I've got Jada's pudding pie on the bottom left here, and you pouring that beautiful sauce on the top. Man, I live for these kinds of moments.
Yeah.
Jada, that is beautiful.
Beautiful.
I'm going to move this so I can see Christina's a little bit better. Ooh, Christina.
Oh.
That's a win. This is actually a full-on meal between all of us here. All right. Gorgeous.
Exactly.
Oh, and Adam, I didn't realize this, but you could literally just spoon that straight up.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, my friends. Thanks for sticking with us. We are here at the end of our time together. And Christina, I want you to go ahead and pick somebody from our comments section, so they can get a
Okay.
little some.
Okay. Let's go with let's say Isaac gets a reward for his buttering up, and
Don't reward that guy.
no, and Jillian.
All right, Jillian and Isaac. Okay, cool. They all look delicious. Yes, Margarita, they do. They do. I will try to make the pecan pesto, although I am not a fan of chipotle nor sun-dried tomatoes. All right. Okay. Very cool. Tell you what. Let's give. Who did you pick? Christina? Who's your first one?
Okay, so Isaac was the first one.
Okay, let's give Isaac one, and then I'm gonna let Jada pick one here from our group. Jada, you pick the other one. Isaac gets a book, and Jada, you pick the other person, and we'll give them a book.
So I'm gonna pick. I think it was Margarita who said all Mexican food. I am totally here for that statement.
Margarita. Okay, so our winners today is Isaac and Margarita. This is what I need you two to do. If you are not already a friend of ours on our One House Instagram page, go there and message, DM us and give us your information so that we can send the book to you. Isaac, whether you give us your information or not, we're not going to send you a book, so don't worry. But Margarita, please drop a DM into our Instagram page and we'll send you, let's see, which book should we send you? Let's send you the Monk book, because it seems like you tend to do cooking in your house, and Isaac, I don't think you cook, so we're gonna send you the You Suck at Cooking book. All right. Next week we're gonna be hanging out with Jerome Fontamilis from Switchfoot, so join us as we talk about what it means to be a musician. Oh, you are related. Oh, okay, I see now. I see Navarez. Yes, I see the connection here. Well, tell you what. You two can trade secrets. You guys don't live in the same household. I'm pretty sure of that. So you two can trade secrets and enjoy the books together. He goes to Mama's house to grab. No wonder. You know what? I disqualify Isaac. Isaac, you're getting disqualified from this one. Christina, pick another name in our comments.
Okay.
Isaac's my guy. I love him.
Cool. Are we still waiting for me to pick another one? Or
Yeah, you pick one.
Oh,
one.
okay. Let's go back to Jillian then.
All right, Jillian it is. Jillian and Margarita, you're the winners.
Poor Isaac.
DM us into the One House. Isaac will get something special from me. Don't worry. He gets a Christmas gift. Every week up until the new year, we're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to give some fun stuff away every week just because it's the Christmas season and One House wants to love on you all. So make sure you join us every week. Next week, we're going to have Jerome Fontamilis on. We're going to talk about a bunch of really cool stuff. And I'm going to be giving off some more stuff away next week. I want to thank my guest today, Jada. Thank you so much. That pudding looks good. Amazing.
Thank you.
Christina and Adam, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your culinary creativity. And I can't wait. I'm going to actually try each one of these when I get home. Not tonight. That's too much food, but one at a time. And thank you all for catching up with us here at Tuesday Tea Time. Just before we leave out, I want to invite our guests to share a little something. Could you share just some encouraging, inspirational words for people out there in this season today? I want to start with Adam, and then I'll work my way to Jada. So Adam, Christina, and then Jada.
Just remember that even though we can't be together in person right now, just remember that. My camera's being weird. Just remember that you're not alone. That we're all here, and the body of Christ is in here together. And we're all in this together. So just remember that even if we have to have Zoom Christmases with our families or any of that, just remember that you're not alone.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
Christina?
I would definitely say just keep trying, because it is tough with the holidays and with being, we're all in our little pods of our apartments or homes, and it is hard to come up with creative ways to do things. And I would just say, just keep trying, because I think the blood of Jesus, he died and then he rose again to prove that nothing is impossible. So the victory that he provides is for more than just against sin or against whatever. So just keep trying to be creative and to be yeah, to keep trying through this time.
That's a good word, my girl. Jada,
Yes.
inspire us out of here, girl.
All right. I would say that even though, we're not together, we're still together in God, Anyone is one is a Zoom call away. Not in person doesn't mean we don't have to get together and still fellowship.
Wow. So true. So true. All my friends, you are not alone out there in this world. We are here together, even though we're apart. God bless you all. We love you. Stay safe this week. Be well. And until next Tuesday, God bless you guys. We'll see you at next Tuesday Tea Time with Jerome Fontamilis. All right, everybody. We out. Thank you so much, everyone.